A lot of parents think explaining is like pointless. When it's time to deal with those issues, like they've not had anybody to explain it to them properly.
I have a friend on her birthday. She bought, herself Michael Kors bag and everything. And then she posted it as like gifts from Bay. I'm like, huh, it's
Bobby.
supposed to buy ya. See, think my best in spend. People in the village, they think this thing way we they think. Oh. Their boyfriend buy them plate of nkwobi and this one. They
Be very happy.
touching his hair. But this one, they will be like, nah. Hey, finger nyeki putata. I can't take do no. This one.
Following the conversation with Arinze and Kodili, in this conversation, we talk about the harshness of life as a young adult. We also talk about social media and the pressure it brings, especially to young people. I enjoyed having this conversation over wine. It was an experience. This conversation starts now.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is Kodili and this is Arinze. So we're talking about how harsh life is. Is life really hard?
It depends. I think it depends because for people who are definitely well to do, who are from rich families, it's much easier. Not that it's not hard, it's much easier.
And but you still go through
In one aspect. Okay, for me, I mean, say, is life harsh? I think that's such a broad question. So like let's like attack it in different aspects. Is life harsh like financially? Is life harsh like relationship wise? Like living wise?
They need to keep up like what do we call this? Expectations. Like your parents' expectations of you. And
Yes,
society's expectations of you.
kind of.
Yeah, I don't think I would say that life is harsh. I would say like if you're not if you're not prepared well enough, life can be harsh.
That can be perceived as harsh.
Wait, prepared in
It
what?
can be harsh, I think.
Prepared in what sense?
Prepared in like a lot of times, or I think that like growing up, we are like the way life is described to us is that like if you set your goals, you have these goals, and you do this certain way, you achieve it. But like life isn't like
Life happens.
that. Like life literally happens because I'm sure like when we were all younger, we all had this like what we wanted to be in future. And, and I can say like, at least like 75% of people, it's a complete like different
Outcome.
outcome and reality when you grow up because life indeed happens in terms of let me give myself for example. I'm like I used to say when I was 25 I'll be married with kids, I'll be like set up because 25 was like it was such an
Far
old
from
time, it was
here.
so far,
For you.
but before you know life literally creeps
Caught up.
up on you and you're like, oh, I'm 24, oh, I'm 27. So
And then he had to re-strategize. He had to. Well, I think most times you just like do our stuff, do our best, and let the rest happen. Like
but that doesn't really answer if life is harsh or not.
Yes.
it doesn't answer about this. It's
For me, I think life is harsh for people who were not, like you said, prepared well enough.
Yes.
Because if from the onset, and also there's this thing where parents do, or like this thing where they say they have to shield their children from the realities of. So I feel like from the onset is as soon as possible, like you really should start like coaching your children on the like travels of life and how to like navigate through it, because I feel like a lot of people, by the time their parents are getting to start telling them how to deal with some issues, they've already gone, like they're already set in their ways, they're already addicted to some stuff. So if they were like coached on time, like okay, like about procrastination, how like if you're not careful, like you might keep pushing things further, like what can happen if you keep procrastinating. Do you understand? If you don't give the child like ways they can combat that procrastination or mindset that they can use to combat that procrastination.
Procrastinate for
They
life.
they keep on procrastinating. Then when they get to when they are older, they say life is harsh. I say I'll do this thing yesterday, but 2 weeks down the line, they've not done it.
And that thing is the thing parents should allow their children to like taste some of the fire. Like instead of protecting them so much, allow them to like go out
I
and
won't
make
say
their-
Yeah.
taste it, but I will say kind of explain it. I feel like I don't know for the whole world, but for Nigerians, like a lot of parents think explaining is like pointless. Like they feel like explaining is pointless, like is a waste of their time. And I feel like that's what leads to why people like they how do I put it, when it's time to deal with those issues, like they've not had anybody to explain it to them properly. So by the time they get a glimpse of how to really like what's really going on, they might have gone like 20 years doing that stuff, and it is a habit
Habit
now.
already.
And then to them they will be like, for somebody who from the onset they taught them about be they doing things immediately, not procrastinating. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Showing them the advantages and all of that, and using that like to teach them and growing up with it. Then when they are much older, they will not have issues with procrastination, which is just an example.
It's just like this Bible quote, train up your child the way he should go, and when he grows, he will not depart
I
from
don't
it.
like that quote. but-
Why?
I mean, there's a bit of truth to that quote, but I also think that like it goes further than
Just the church.
explaining. Not just church. That's what I said. It goes further than explaining. Like actually, like what's the word I would use? Like kind of real life experiences. Like now your child, they don't necessarily have to teaching your child the benefits of saving, having them actually like they don't have to like work for somebody, but actually having them know that like regardless of how or where you come from, the kind of wealth you come from, like it's not a guarantee of your own wealth
Success.
or your own success. And just having them know that like in life, for whatever you have to do, you have to work for it. That like things cannot just be handed to you, because growing up you have everything handed to you. Whatever food you want to eat is there, whatever money you want is there. You don't really go through any kind of like adversity. Nothing like, oh, a child, you should throw a child to like the wolves and let them like figure things out. But I'm not just saying, oh, my mommy, I want like $1,000. They will have it, because when life indeed comes, nobody can ever like predict 100% how life will turn out. You can prepare as best as you can, but you can't. It's not. You can prepare, but you can't predict.
Yeah, you talking about parents teaching their children how to save. I was reading some days ago about parents that don't give their children allowance actually doing them a disadvantage, because they wouldn't know how to actually budget, save, use their money like properly. They just like once they just get cash, just spend it anyhow.
Because they feel like they might not get it.
Or like if they were like getting a monthly allowance from when they were little, probably say maybe 50k or 20k or 10k per month. Then at the end of the month, you can, this is what I used to do, this is what I used to do, this is what. But then those people that they didn't have that budget culture, once they just get cash, I think this money allowance stuff gives you that organization mindset.
I feel like it's not the money allowance is one thing, but also like
The discipline.
coaching them, the discipline, and also coaching them on how to save and the importance, and like because when you're a child, everything is being given to you. So if you don't give them an incentive to save, and do you understand, it's something that on the onset it will not look like you're benefiting. Like most parents would be like, what they want to just give you the allowance. They don't be like, okay, save 10%. Do you understand? Spend. Do you understand? They're supposed to go further into like saying, okay, I think, or force the child to say, out of that allowance I give you, you save 30% all the time. Then over time, I feel like that child will now be able to know that you're meant to save.
What actually makes life hard as a young person? Like, what are the areas makes life
What makes
more
life
difficult?
what makes life hard as a young person is totally different from what makes life hard as
an adult?
Yes, definitely now. Because when you're much younger, depending on whether like your financial status, it now determines what you will be facing as a child. Because a lot of what people face as adults, if you're not financially like you were not born into like a place where they are reasonably comfortable, like your parents can foot like your basic bills, like they have to face like with their food, like feeding, like rent, where they will
But actually,
live.
apart from that, so that's not the only thing that like makes people like.
But that's the base. Like if you've not finished that one, there's no other thing you're moving
How about
to.
the people? How about like people you meet in the outside world, like starting a relationship, approaching people.
If you've not
heartbreak.
eaten, what are you like? If
Yeah, I think like it's true. If you can't meet your basic
basic
needs,
needs like
every other part will lack.
suffering, yeah.
In terms of like relationship, okay, what kind of relationship are you entering? You cannot afford to eat 3
Eat.
times. How?
Well, okay, let's say you're in a school setting and you're in
It's
university.
not Monday, Tuesday, and go to
If
school.
in a school setting, there's a kind of security there. Your probably your school fees is paid.
Yeah.
Your accommodation is
Paid.
paid.
Feeding is big.
Your
Or you're-
feeding is
yeah,
paid.
paid.
But if you're literally struggling to
Feed yourself, or
have
house
a-
yourself, place to
or
stay.
a shelter over your head, it impacts every other thing that you want to do.
Yeah, like this. So my mom told me that she got married at 21.
Same
I was
thing,
like,
same with
why,
my
I was
mom.
like, why are people not getting married early these days? She said economy.
No, true.
Yeah,
I'm
things
like,
have changed now. Women have more access to money, have more access to opportunities. I would say like a big part of why women, I mean, the whole world has changed, society has changed. A big part of why women got married earlier was that like what the man could provide for the
Yeah,
woman.
and also from what I've heard, there were some things that were not accessible if you were not married.
Yeah, like
Example, like
Like housing, like getting up. Even till today, there are some.
there's some places that you go to in Lagos, and if you're
in the whole
single,
of Nigeria,
they
if you-
won't rent to
give
a
you-
single person. I guess not just it's worse for women. You know, if a woman is not married, I'm not saying that it's probably it's like the same for guys, but a woman
What
they
the
hammer
dynamics
on
is
it-
different.
on it more.
For
That
guys,
you
they're
should
like,
be-
oh, you'll be bringing multiple women, you can be doing Yahoo. Truly. And do you
Yeah.
understand? For women, is a thing of them saying they don't want multiple guys in the house, that
Not
they
married,
will
they're
fight,
going to be irresponsible.
all
wait,
these
bro.
things.
I thought I'm paying you, or I thought I'm giving you money every year,
That's what they are saying, is that the money is not enough. That they need some other kind of assurance that is either you will not cause commotion, because it's not just your rent. If you're not able to live properly with other people, and maybe you're
You
having
might cause other
fights,
tenants to leave.
you're too
Say-
noisy. Young people sometimes are very noisy. They will bring
Speaker.
They will bring speaker. They will,
Overnight,
they will,
3
they will in their house of 1 bedroom. They will bring 10 people, and then they will sleep over for 1 month. Then you not.
Crazy shit happens.
Do you understand? So like there's this show they do in Lagos where they talk about landlords come and talk about like issues they face. Like even though it's illegal for you, because that's discrimination, to say you're not going to rent out to a woman because she's not married, or to a, but in Nigeria our laws are so outdated, and I don't even know the word to use. So
I don't think it's a law. It's not a law. It's not a Nigerian law for landlords not to rent to single people. It's not
I'm
a
saying
law.
So the
it's
landlord just
against
decide.
Nigerian law for you not to say you're not going to rent out to somebody because the person is not married. It's against the law. If people actually proceed to court,
Because you said that Nigerian laws are outdated. Just like you said that they're not outdated. It's that the law is not being enforced. It would be outdated if it was a law for you have to be married to rent a place.
Yeah.
That would be a law. But it's not a law. But just because we're a very religious society as well, like, and the whole thing about an unmarried woman and the kind of company she keeps and the kind of things that she could bring to because automatically in Nigeria, if you're married, if you're at a certain age and you're not like if you're 18, but if you're after like 2021 and you're married, you're seen as some kind of
slutty kind of person.
wayward, kind of loud, woman kind of
But
thing.
then another thing, rent's a major issue why people are actually not getting married faster.
rent,
Yeah.
it's part of the economy, like the economic factors. Like rent is much more expensive now.
If you're judging by inflation, like, okay, 10, 15 years ago, 100k was about like probably 500k now.
I can't say
I don't know if
that,
it's 500k, but definitely
but
like
there's a
there's
huge
a
difference.
difference.
But the value of the money now is lesser than it was.
Yes, that's what we are
Absolutely,
saying, but we are
100%.
just saying we can't say that 100,000 is now 500,000.
So most guys,
Maybe 20 years ago, yeah.
so most guys, like, because they can't afford rent or like to feed,
For
to feed
what?
someone else.
Yeah,
So
they've not finished feeding themselves.
Themselves.
You're talking of feeding someone else.
And in this country again, where getting a job is almost
Whoa.
close to impossible if you don't have
people.
serious connections.
Connections.
It doesn't depend on how well you studied or what kind of
Like-
position you got. So just imagine what like let me just say like a 24 or 25-year-old guy can be going to this country without somebody who went to school, struggled to go to school, paid their school fees and come in like, and came out, did their NYSC and now is in the like labor market looking for jobs. You know, that person's reality is very different
From
somebody who came from a wealthy home, who has all the connections.
let's not even say wealthy. Let's just say
Upper middle class.
Yes, people who could pay for their school fees, feed themselves, and get pocket money from their parents. That's not like luxury, like, but that's just like middle class, like you said. So it's still very different from them compared to now people who they've not even been able to pay for school and all this stuff. So
Okay, but aside from feeding and survival, what did that sort of like contribute to making life hard for young people? Apart from feeding and survival, basically.
You know, I don't think you can just say apart from it because
Yeah,
everything
because-
ties to. Because when you talk about like depression now, for a young person, depression, it doesn't have to be that you don't have money or anything. Actually, because depression can come in different forms. That doesn't always have to be you lacking something. Because people we hear of all the celebrities who
Commit suicide.
commit suicide. It's not like they didn't have the money at least, but like I feel like in this, as for a young person, you having some kind of support system is highly like necessary and like important.
and influences like
Yes, like
how
you need
life will be for you.
But then, how do you not create that support system? That's the other thing. Like, how do you work with people and like be my friend? How does it? That kind of relationship stems from either childhood friends, family friends, or from school, or from.
I mean,
Cousins.
now things are different now. See, Shebi, I met you in Chiama's wedding, so it's very dynamic now that there's social media too, and I also think like life is also part of what makes life look difficult now also can be a bit of social media, because like social media makes you feel like what you have is not enough. Especially when you're consistently having to compare yourself with like other people, not only like they are just basically,
other people.
and which to me is a crazy thing that you would be so affected by a random person that is like across the world. You don't even know what they are doing with their
And
life.
apart from that, I don't feel that social media brings less confidence. Like in our father's days, when you see a girl, you walk up to her and you're trying like, "Hello, I'm so where I do this, I do that." These are my family members. Here, like it's rare because I would just like see this chick on Instagram. This chick is pretty. Reply to her story and then you start chatting. Like it's easier. Then it was harder. So people were more confident and they could always like.
I think
go out to fish.
It looks easier now, but if you check the rate at which people are getting married, the rate at which people are having sex, you know that our age right now is so much less than
our fathers.
their own time. So it might look, social media has this way of making you, because you're seeing all this on social media, but you forget that it's the whole world compiled into a device. So you are now seeing like out of the whole world, you're now seeing like, and social media has a thing where it brings the same things together. So it like somebody like you, what it now does is that it compounds all these people, all these one people around the world, puts them in a.
But that's the whole issue. Because of we live in a time where you like your attention span is
Very
our
low.
attention span is getting more limited and limited. You see, before we had like IG videos where it was like 2 minutes,
3
or
minutes.
as long as it could be. Now, but like research has shown that like people want to get stuff in like 10 seconds, maximum 1 minute, like maximum.
But I get what you're saying, but people don't want to get stuff immediately. They did the research and they found out that people are like, that's not necessarily what they want, but they want like they want to also limit. I don't want to go deep into that, but they don't want you to have a long, how do I call this thing, memory span. Because
what does that mean?
like now, like the people who are creating these apps now, they want they want you
To spend more time on their app.
yes. And if you were somebody who was more, you were tuned more towards like
YouTube.
long media, which requires your focus and all of that, you would not be like, even though you would spend like 30 minutes, but after that 30 minutes, you're most likely to just leave the platform. But if you were going, that's what the research does, which is kind of against the people, because it's like they've noticed that if it's just 2 minutes of that same thing you like, 2 minutes, that you are willing to even go beyond what you think you would have gone normally. But if they gave you 2 hours in the same length of that 2 minutes, you would, after the first 2 hours, you would have left. But if you're using your phone now, you're watching 2 minutes clip, 2 minutes, 1 minute clip, 30 seconds clip, you can do that for 3 hours. But if they gave you a 1 hour clip to watch 3 hours consecutively, you wouldn't watch that.
Oh, I understand where you're coming from. I understand where you're coming from, but the thing is this: the ability to concentrate on something for a very long time, like an hour straight, 40 minutes straight, determines your success in that field overall. Then when you're biting in chunks, 2 minutes
They don't
today.
care about your what success. What are you talking about? Who cares about your success? They are trying to get more engagement for the marketers that they are selling for on their platform. Who cares about your success? That's why it is required, mandatory. That's why now there is a time limit for YouTube. There is a time limit for Instagram.
What do you mean there's a time limit?
Like
You
not
can
time
set it.
limits. Like some countries forced the social medias to put the time limit.
No, there's no country that forces the social media limit.
It's on your setting. You do it
You
yourself.
do it yourself. There's
No,
no.
it's just like when there's a harmful substance in a food, and instead of them to do it boldly, they go and hide one place and write. That's what I'm saying. That they've mandated that they put a
It's
function
not a
of.
mandate. Like now in Canada, they have the food, like they have the food guide.
Yeah.
It's the standard food guide that they have. It's not a mandate though, but Canada has a standard food guide.
If it's a standard
not,
food guide, that means
it's what that you're supposed to do. But it's something when it's
When you
it's
say
different-
food guy, like you must eat cabbage and with carrots.
No, like they have like a standard like what your food plate should look like you know, like your veggie should be
calories.
half your plate, your protein should be like a quarter of your plate. But it's not like in every school, those like schools who serve like school lunches have to do that. They are supposed to, but it's not like a mandate is a law.
because the reason why I say it's a mandate is because when they put this time limit was when like they had like Mark Zuckerberg and all these people were going, like they were calling them to the US magistrate or something to come and answer questions.
I watched it.
If I'm emailing within WhatsApp, does that ever inform your advertisers?
No, we don't see any of the content in WhatsApp. It's fully encrypted.
Right.
So it was after that they started putting all these things like
It's guideline.
No, mainly most
if
of.
it's a guideline, that means it's kind of
It's just a guideline.
I think most of what they restricted in that Zuckerberg stuff was mainly those political, like so that Zuckerberg was active in the Trump's election.
It was more about
pornography.
It was more about
invading people's privacy too, and all
It
that
wasn't
stuff.
about like the length. Whatever length that the reason why like apps now, like phones now, you can set time limit is because like different research now came out about the harmfulness of spending all this time. But I'm just trying to say like countries now have guidelines, but there's no country that have mandated that you only spend 2 hours on social media. I'm just saying that it's not
not mandated to the people, mandated to the social to make the provision for
it. Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Like before, like because they wouldn't have had a reason, because the more time you are on their platform, the more money they are making.
I get that.
If it wasn't mandatory for them to put it, I guarantee you these evil spirits, they will not put it.
Because on my YouTube, I think I set like 4 hours per day. So some days I'll be on YouTube.
So explain to me how is it that if you spend over 2 hours on YouTube, then no YouTube video.
Exactly, that don't explain. So mine is set at 4 hours. It's capped at 4 hours. So I reached 4 hours one day, and I just clicked on. You're like, you have reached your time limit. Just click continue.
Yeah, you could. That's what I'm saying.
all.
That
I couldn't enjoy myself.
wait, that option to even notify you It was never there.
Before. Yes, it wasn't there before.
Yeah,
But now you can set it.
But why do you think they put it because they have your interest at? These people, they never have anybody's interest at heart. Their issue is to
Their
make
money and retention.
But
That's what I'm
if
saying
if
now.
if one of these big countries did not force them, like, oh, like you have to actually like be looking after the people because you're making so much money from these people, like you have
don't
to
care about them.
Yes,
But
you
it's
don't.
not the countries that are making this. It's your
It's Congress.
phone.
No, it's Congress actually.
I'm not saying it's Congress that mandated those companies
And-
to have that option.
That's what we're saying. The same
Well,
thing.
that's what he's
That's
saying.
saying.
You're
I'm
saying that those days are
No, you said that like countries they mandated not to have more than 2 hours.
No, sorry, I was saying that option of the time limit is what they forced
Because there's
them
some
to
people that
put.
don't even know that they have those time limits on their phone.
Yeah, that's why I said, that's why I used the example of those people that when there's something harmful, they'll now go and corner. This thing can cause cancer. Now put it very small.
small in fine print.
So that's kind of the
It's
same
a
thing
whole-
where they hid.
Everywhere now, you're hearing things of how like smoking kills. On cigarettes, it's not written in a small letter, but the cigarette sales they're not dropping.
Yeah, but that's
Well,
just because.
down is an addiction.
But
It's an
that
addiction,
is
really.
another.
Social media is
That's,
an addiction. It's even a worse
Well,
addiction.
addiction than cigarettes.
And apart from it being an addiction, sometimes you just want to, like now, some guys don't drink whiskey and red, but when they see their friends, you have to join so you don't look odd. Like you're like trying to like fit in.
That's how it is. That's why it is. That's peer pressure.
No, but that's why most young people actually do drugs and they want to join their friends basically. Just like in this movie, Elite. Do you see the series?
I've never seen.
It is.
Elite.
Elite.
And that
Spanish show.
no, yes, Spanish. That guy was dating that Muslim babe.
Yeah.
But you're talking about our fathers had more sex than us. Why? Why do you think that's it?
Our fathers had more sex than us.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Look at the
False.
research. See what's happening. The people who are having sex are having sex more frequently. But the amount of people having sex generally
Is
is
dropping.
less. Because the new
How?
that's what like what I'm saying now is that the people having sex in our time, they are having sex plenty. But the number of people generally having sex, not the frequency of the 1%.
No, yes, what you're saying. Basically, the people that are having, these are the people that have sex. And these are the whole the whole society. These are the people regularly
in their
enjoying.
own time, out of
It was
this,
bigger.
It was bigger. But in our own time, it's like 3. But these 3, the amount of sex they are having is wilder, is
I
everything.
don't think so, though.
That's the research I've seen.
But that's research I've seen. So I think what makes
What the
it.
research I've seen.
What research did you
Sex-
see?
What, like, in different age groups have increased dramatically. Because back then, just think about it. Even older men are having more sex now than they were before. Because now, people have so much agency and so much autonomy, both men and women.
What it looks like.
It's not what it looks like, it's what it is.
Well, if you say
With the
old, if you
advent
say
of-
older men, I'll buy that because
Even younger people, because with the advent of social
well,
media,
I don't know. Younger
with the
people,
advent of-
younger people. What's making it look like that is porn and OnlyFans and all that stuff.
But they're
It's
not
not
gonna-
necessarily that they're actually
they are masturbating more.
So only the only
That's
fans
what I'm
chicks.
saying. They are masturbating more and watching more porn. But as
They
for the
also have
actual
more
sex, they are not.
The real intercourse.
You've not heard
It's
of
lesser.
the rise of the incel. They are not.
Incels, Jordan
They are-
Peterson
What are
and this guy
incels? Incels
are guys who
incels?
are less privileged. I don't less social. They have no jobs. They are basically looked down upon by women. Women will not. In fact, you can't attract a woman. So these guys are underprivileged in the society, basically.
So what they're doing is masturbating and watching porn. They
So
want
wait,
to
wait,
have
wait.
sex.
What do you think incels are? Or what are incels?
I don't know what you explain.
What's it?
Like,
Well, it's because it's not only Jordan Peterson that has been saying it.
The film director Olivia Wilde has a new movie out, which she says is based on you, this insane man, this pseudo-intellectual hero to the incel community. Incel being these weirdo loner men who are despicable in many ways. Is that you? Are you the intellectual hero to these people?
Sure, why not? People have been after me for a long time because I've been speaking to disaffected young men, No, what a terrible thing to do that is. I thought the marginalized were supposed to have a voice.
It's making you emotional. Talk about that.
Well, God, you know, it's very difficult to understand how demoralized people are. And certainly many young men are in that category. And you get these casual insults, these incels. What does it mean? It's like, well, these men, they don't know how to make themselves attractive to women who are very picky, and good for them. Women, like, be picky. That's your gift, man. Demand high standards from your men. Fair enough. But all these men who are alienated, it's like they're lonesome and they don't know what to do, and everyone piles abuse on them.
A lot of other researchers have also been talking about how this our age, people are looking at the provocative on social media thinking that it translates to sex. But there's a lot of dynamics that go on with sex. A lot of people now are very anxious. Before, back then, people were much braver.
Liberal.
But
And
now,
free with their body.
How?
not free. No.
You had to be in some kind of. You had to be in a marriage. You had to be in some kind of thing.
Then
for it to be able to have sex.
people were
Not
hiding.
you. Liberal.
But
And
now,
free with their body.
How?
not free. No.
You had to be in some kind of. You had to be in a marriage. You had to be in some kind of thing. for
Then
it to be able to have sex.
people were
Not
hiding.
you.
Yes,
People
you
were
did.
hiding and having the sex. But now, people that's the thing. The sedation from porn to alcohol to drugs to
That is why more people are having more
They're
sex.
Did you see the insults meaning?
Yes. It says that like a group of young men who consider themselves unable to attract women sexually, typically associated with views that are hostile towards women and men who are sexually active.
Attract guys who are unable to attract women sexually and have sex with
guys
them.
too.
Basically,
This is- and
that's what I
and they keep
define
on
earlier.
because of their online reading about how women don't like this. When it's very few percentage, they will not read men are like this, women are like this,
Generalize.
and then they generalize it. Then you now add the porn, then you now add the weed, then you now add the alcohol. Kodili, they're inside the room in the dark.
No, I mean I get that. That's not a lie. I'm not saying that that's not true, but definitely, because the amount of women who have sex now, the amount of partners that women are able to have now, people are having more sex. When you guys
Oh,
are
she looked at it from a feminine angle.
But
Oh
look
no, girls. There are lots of stats that say that women generally with men generally. Like if you ask a woman, will you have sex with this guy? There's 20% chance she'll say yes. She'll say yes. But if you ask a guy, if you have sex with a random lady, the 50% chance that will say yes.
Yes,
So
but
women
I'm
have a
saying-
higher chance of getting it. In fact, you can get virtually any guy you want.
I'm
Just
saying
like
that
than
for
a guy.
Yeah, I'm just saying that like for women, maybe it's not for the same as men, but for women, the amount of people having sex is way higher than the amount of people having sex before. That's all I'm saying. That makes any sense.
But at the same time, then they were getting married earlier. They once you get married, you start
Back
banging.
then,
You have you
back then,
have
two
children.
women, one man would like back, but now an 18-year-old girl or a 19-year-old girl could have already had sex with like 4 different guys. And
No.
And
Not necessarily like that in Nigeria.
back.
It's not really that way.
You know, Nigeria is a sex capital. Listen, Nigeria is a sex
It might look
capital.
like that.
of-
It might look like that.
Why do you think
It's not
so?
looking like that. Look at our population. It's not looking. It is the fact. Okay, do people drop from heaven? People don't drop from heaven. You
those
need
guys are not-
sexual intercourse to create somebody.
Those guys
And
that
we're
are
not-
giving birth to those children are not 18 years. They're not 18 years.
That's what we're saying, that like the people who are doing majority of the sex are the people that do not come from this like our generational period. It's the much older people, and they came from a time without social media. And
In the late 40s
I
and
was
early
reading
50s.
this research about how we're going off the topic too much, but I was reading about this research where they were saying that like when a child is introduced to pornography before they have sex, the likelihood of them having sex drops so drastically, and you have a situation where like people don't even have, there's no control. Like, you literally can go online and see all the naked people that the world has to offer.
Twitter is the database.
Twitter is censored.
No, Twitter is not censored. Twitter is the home. Twitter is the home. Twitter is the home.
Twitter is like the most uncensored
What I'm saying is that Twitter is
access
2 minutes, 1 minute. I'm saying there are places where you can go to free. Just go on Google like this porn, like thousands and thousands.
Porn is not free. Twitter is the best place to access porn.
Free.
In the sense
Free
of that, like all those other places, you need to
We'll not have this as
subscribe.
an argument.
You need to have a payment
No.
option.
No.
You don't get any
No.
long form of porn anymore on other sites for free.
Don't make me show you.
No. If you go Pornhub, you see lots of free. Worry, I'll put some, but the blood.
If you go on Pornhub now, for
Pornhub
like
is
They have
Pornhub
Pornhub
elite.
premium. They have premium, and they have free.
They
have lots of
there's
premium videos that they make free.
There's X videos. X.
Wait, and apart from that, they have torrent sites that you can get the premium one there. Like Erika Lost. I really admire that lady. She's a Swedish erotic director.
See
She's
them.
a director.
See them.
No, she's not an actor. She's a director. Basically, she has a series called S Confessions. Strangers write their fantasies to her, and she gets actors that act them.
Oh, okay.
Let's redirect.
We are going far from the topic.
Well, it's interesting. It's
Why is life harsh?
Why is life hard?
So I think how it will be difficult, how life is difficult or harsh, also varies, like gender, depending on the gender. So for guys and girls, it's different. When you're much younger, you maybe from 5 to 10 or 12 is the same thing to some extent, which is just food and living per se. But if you're in a place where you have money to feed yourself, everybody's livable. But as you're getting older, you hit puberty. Women start to talk about periods. Bodies start to change.
You want to look like Kim Kardashian, right?
Body starts to change. Mindset start to change. Do you understand?
Guys are getting more attracted to you.
Yes. Self-expectations.
Self-esteem.
Yes. So even what you want for yourself begins to creep in, and all of that makes. So guys are here thinking of, how will they make money?
And girls are thinking about how they get the hottest boyfriend.
How to make money.
And how to look hot.
Yes.
How to make money is a new thing, though.
It's not a new
How to
thing.
make money is a new thing. Girls
It's
are
not
not
a
really
new
thinking
thing.
about
Girls
that like
were
that.
restricted from making money.
Women have always been thinking
Restricted
about
from making money in this early history.
Women have always been restricted to make money. The reason why it looks like women have not been is because that has not been a way. It was through other means, through either sexual, different things that women had access to that money.
And marriage.
Yeah. So, but women have always wanted more.
To be in
this,
business,
to have more autonomy of themselves.
Not the bulk of women, not many. Lots of women, many of them, some just wanted family.
True. Which
Because
is
that was purported, that was the goal. That was the goal. As a woman, your goal was to get married and have children.
But I also saw this thing where
That was the goal.
they went and asked career women if life, their career and their family, which one would they and a lot of them, let me not say a lot of them, but a reasonable size of them were that this job is is really just stressing them. They would prefer not to do it. But as in a capitalist world where you live in, without these monies, you can be succumbed to some kind of circumstances that are not favorable to you. So it's wise to have money.
Exactly, but yes, career
But the
women,
turmoil that comes with having that money, the stress, the time
but
away
why
from
that women
children.
always have to pick between careers and family? Because that's never a question for a man.
It is somehow because his girlfriend as well be you're not giving me enough time.
And that's also why
A man doesn't have to choose if he wants to have a family.
But he's a breadwinner most of the time. He's a breadwinner. That's
what I'm saying. In this day and age, things are different now. Women are also breadwinners, and women are also taking care of
Yes, but also there's advantages and disadvantages of men claiming breadwinner and staying outside. That's why a lot of men, they are complaining. Father's Day, they are not celebrating them. This one, they say every time is all the children go to the women. So the men who see the advantage of staying home more often are getting the advantages some of the women who are staying home. So it's like when the society has given you leeway, some men think is benefiting them. But 10 years down the line, when your children don't want to speak to you, you start saying it's because of the women. When it's on the man that did not want to spend time with the children, then in 10-15 years time, when all the children, they'll go and be meeting the mother, and they'll say, this woman, what do you do to my children? When you're not there.
No, but apart from that, if the man is not out there, because who pay the school fees?
I'm not saying
and the house
that's
rent
what I'm saying. A lot of men use because they have to go out and now totally neglect. Because there's not, as a man, just because they say you should go out, that doesn't mean you should not sleep. You not think that that's your family day.
But apart from that, what happens to Saturdays and Sundays? And
that's what I'm telling you. Some people in the Saturday and Sunday, they will still be claiming that they have to go and be breadwinning outside instead of them to spend time with their family and their children. Yeah. Do you understand?
Well, I think that I can't relate to that because my dad. I never saw my dad. My dad never worked for anyone. So like, throughout when we get into, we had morning devotion in the morning, like an hour. So I always saw my dad for a very long time, every single day.
I'm not even only saying. There's one thing. Just
he was involved. Like what's going on in school, your assignments, your
okay,
day. But the problem is that Nigerian, like I don't say Nigerian men, our fathers are really conservative. So they don't come and start asking you about a breakup, your girlfriend in school, or what teacher beats you, or blah 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 blah. That's your own trouble.
And that's also,
and that's the real thing that makes you much more connected to your parents.
Yes, and also that's why you're having a lot of incels, because men are slacking on their job. You see women now, the mothers always coach them, even though some of them don't do it right. But they usually say, okay, do you understand? Kwado yourself or fuma. Do you understand? Chuba like this, go like this. But the men are slacking in their responsibility because as a man, as a father, you're supposed to teach your child how to approach women. But also,
it's
your job, because if you don't do that, your child will use internet. That's why when some parents are complaining that, oh, my child, where do you learn on this? I say, what do you teach the child? And you are complaining that the child is doing like this. If you don't teach the child anything, you don't have a right to complain because you've left it open.
You've taught the child, you go to church.
Okay.
And you obey the
Actually, parents have most parents have outsourced raising children to schools and church. The teachers in school and the church. But is that really enough? Because like these teachers, first of all, they have their selfish interest at heart. They want to get their salary and go back to their house. Many of them are not really interested in that teaching.
They really don't care.
Whatever. Please just come to school and let's do what we're doing. Let me get my salary.
But I think in conclusion, different things. To summarize so far, it's like we can also say that like life can be harsh.
Very harsh.
Life can be harsh, especially just even now with the rise of with social media. Like we also like the pressure is literally getting worse.
You got what you say.
It's literally getting worse because the world feels much smaller. Because back then, a woman in her own like husband or whatever place, she's not seeing the
what woman that
or the
is
20 women, because it's not like this is the status of every woman worldwide.
Yes.
But this is more in your
face. It's right
so
there. You wake up, you see
it's more and more in your face. So like it makes you less content.
Yes, and it makes you much conscious of it.
Yeah, so you're like, why the fuck should I settle down? Like, when this my woman is doing this, earning kind of this, why should I?
What separates her from me?
Wait, sorry. Like, do you mean like she's having much more sexual partners than you?
No, not really.
I didn't think sexual
No. Like you say, why should I settle down when my woman is doing this?
No, settle down in terms of like, why should I settle down with just let a man take over my life? No, just one man. Settle down in family wise, because when you settle down at 21. The money that you have at 21 is not the money that you have at 24.
To be buying Lamborghini and go to the club and buy Louis Vuittons and buy.
Yeah, because when you settle down for a man, like the man is basically not that there's anything bad, but in this day and age, you need some kind of autonomy of your own.
Yeah, but generally as a woman, at first you're working in an office and you're not working online. You make lesser money when you have children, like for a very very long period of time. Probably apart from if you're an author and you're at home writing, or if you have an online business or so. But apart from that, if you're working in an office, because like
So that's what we're saying now. You're settling because if you marry earlier, you reduce your chances.
Then those that get all that money, what they used to buy?
I prefer we don't
No,
use
they
the
make
car.
investment. It's not just material stuff. They make investment.
Most of them material stuff now. 90% of young people making money is like material stuff.
Okay, but that's what she's saying. Like this
You're making it seem as if that's just why they make money.
Like the money is for the security. It's
Women make security for themselves. Nobody wants to go into a marriage now having to ask the man for everything.
Yeah, but I'm talking about young people. What do you use that money? What does that money translate
No,
to?
okay, remove from young people. We're not just talking about young people. We're talking about women in general. We're talking about women settling down younger and women.
I don't even think we should be using the word settling down because
it's still settling down.
It sounds demeaning somehow.
Yes, because starting a family is the greatest life ambition you can
actually
maintaining a family. Like, so I feel like the fact that we are using the word settle down kind of belittles such a big activity like that. It's like you're raising a human being.
Negative connotation from settling down.
But to settle means
to settle is to get. It's not negative connotation with the word settle. It is to have your affairs in order. It means to settle in one place. It doesn't mean that you are taking less. Well, settling down is not bad. It's that connotation that comes with settling that is bad.
No, but literally, societally, settling down basically defined as you're no longer looking for men again, or men are no longer looking. Like you're taking.
When you say you're settling down, that means you're losing something.
No.
Like what you would have probably gotten, you're not going to get it. So what you're getting like less, like you're getting a watered down version of what you would have gotten
if you didn't take that part.
Then if you say, okay, right now I'm willing to build a family, which is what you are doing.
Potato, like it's the same thing that we're saying.
Because
you said saying someone settle for less is different. I don't think there's anything bad with settling down. When someone settles down, they're settling in one place, taking things in one place, then the family is taking precedence in that. I think we're saying the same thing. I just think that like there is nothing bad in saying that somebody's settling down for their marriage. Because if you're settling down for a marriage, the amount of like, at least I think like a married woman, the amount of like free time that you would have for yourself, the amount, which is it's not a bad thing. You're now taking care of more people, so automatically the time that you have for yourself is reduced, but not in a bad way because now you're caring for other people. I just think that society has taken so much of like, like you said, they have given a negative connotation to people who get married earlier, or even to like housewives would be like, why should a woman have like all these things? But like people still have their choices, and to some people like that's a better that's like the life that they want to live.
But generally people want more family, or generally people actually want to start families, or they're basically not interested, or they want to put
I think it differs based on geography. The base, because there are different things happening in different countries. What's happening in Saudi Arabia is not what's happening in Nigeria. It's not what's happening in America. So I think sometimes this research is kind of like narrow us down to
it's very westernized.
Yes, because I think in Nigeria it's kind of different too.
And also sometimes when they do research within an age group, and then when they put the research out there, people generalize that research within an age group towards like generally conceived.
But most researches are not restricted to a particular country or continent. Like I was reading this book called The Hate Factor of Personality. Exactly, basically. Honesty, extraversion, agreeableness, neuroticism. They're talking about personality traits. They're like how they're able to actually derive these personality traits and get a real data on how extroverted or how introverted or how anxious people are. That they basically went to different countries. They went to China, different continents. They went to America, they went to Japan, they went to an African country, and asked people questions regarding those adjectives they had. So most researchers are not limited to like a particular geography. Even the ones that are, they specifically say Canada.
That's what he's saying. But when people are talking about it,
they talk the Western stuff.
No, they don't say this research that was gotten and focus on the Canadian population.
They just say research. Do you understand? There's a research that says
most research is not global. That research you came about is a good research, but that's not the standard of most research. Because it's hard. And those kind of most research is within a contained area.
Yeah, but now I get this. But now researchers are researching such things is easier because now most can just go on the Twitter and put up a poll. how many people want Donald Trump to be back on Twitter? Are people in Nigeria voting? People in America voting? People in
Yes, but that is
South
also
Korea voting?
skewed.
But do you know that? Sorry, go on.
No, you go.
But it's like that is right. But those are just like polls. For you to not gather and put those things together, you now have to go down. Those things are polls. Those are good for like individual these things, but those are not like it's not really how
It's not descriptive. It doesn't.
It's not really how research has been carried out or conducted before. So like most research that like now peer-reviewed research and all of those stuff is not based on Twitter polls or Instagram
Well,
polls.
peer review is it's much more constructive and deeper because like other authors have to the body have to
But
review
that is what
your
is
work
actually classified
as proper research.
as proper research, because you can go on the internet and anybody can put anything on any blog. You can't just say that is
Okay, well, let's not call that research. Let's just call that stats. Let's call it one
Exactly.
And also
exactly.
the polls, for example, now with social media, because it can be very skewed in the sense that there are a lot of people using VPNs now.
Oh, I wanted to go there, but I didn't want to go there too because
Yeah,
the bulk of people are not using VPN. People using VPNs on the internet are number one. Number 1%.
After this COVID something, you can say for African countries where we are not vast with internet, you can say they are not using VPN.
How many people globally do you think are using VPN? Like
There are places where the whole country is using internet, and
There
there
has to be places like that is restricted, especially places like Saudi Arabia, places where internet is not allowed.
how about a country like North Korea that they don't?
Or North Korea, exactly.
and I'm even saying like they don't. VPN is not only just so that you can go to another country for movies, for different things, to get access to different things. Do you
Different
understand?
websites.
So a lot of people who use the internet well
But here in Nigeria, what do people use VPN for apart from scamming and
is porn,
No,
Netflix,
you don't need VPN for porn. You can access any porn website without it.
Netflix.
I know that in UK,
Yeah.
like the porn
You need
sites are
VPN for
really,
porn,
really,
yeah.
really restricted. The porn, like
It's not very
I sent my friend pornhub.com. She couldn't open it. She was in UK. They popped up. This is not allowed.
Why are you sending somebody Pornhub.com?
I just wanted to like see if she could access it there.
Let's talk about the real issue. Why
There was nothing deep about it. She was just telling me that you can access some websites. So I just sent that as an example. Like, okay, click the link. Let's see.
Cool.
And she sent me a screenshot. You cannot access this website. So like, I think that's some countries are really strict with the internet laws. Not Nigeria.
Dubai and some
Nigeria is liberal. Do
Very.
whatever you want. No one really cares about this internet laws and all that stuff.
So let's go back. Life and harshness.
Your life is harsh. Like in now, back then, a man could just have his one house, be able
Four
to
wives.
take care of his family.
Do you
That was
understand?
okay. But
Have
now
the
you have
thought
to think
for-
of like
I do have
7
the
different
thought for-
streams of income. Because 2 streams of income ain't enough.
And then,
The rent is high. The
not
cost
to-
of living
yes.
is
and
high.
they are conditioning people to become consumers. Not only just normal consumers, excessively consuming.
That's
So
not how
the
they're going to
mind,
make the money.
so the mind so
Consuming.
But consuming is just basically capitalism.
Yes,
yes,
we live in a
but I'm
capitalist
saying
society.
is having so much negative impact on us because
On us here in Nigeria,
everybody
Globally.
like you mean like obesity or like
Obesity,
what consuming in what
health-wise,
aspect?
Obesity,
Food,
cloth-wise.
clothes-wise, food, clothes.
The
and-
rise of fast fashion, we've all heard it. You see that there's people in China that work in those sweatshops. This clothes, back then, you couldn't get a shirt that was $3. The lowest amount of shirt that you could get was $15 because you could wear that shirt for over 6 years.
Oh, I get where you're coming.
So-
But now they have $1 shops and they have second hand and they have slave labor. People in DRC,
Yes,
Congo,
but that's what we
people
are
in
saying,
China
that
underpaid.
the
That's what we're
consumerism
saying
has
now.
now given rise to that.
But globally, the world is the world making more money than it was?
Yes, now.
It's making more money.
Because they
At
are
an abysmal
conditioning
rate.
people
Wait.
to consume more than they need
Yeah,
to
I was
consume.
looking at the stats some weeks ago, and the economy is growing slower than it was after the Second World War. Like the economy is growing about 0.2%, sometimes even drops globally than it was then
We have to
when free trade started.
review that research.
No.
Yeah, because of course that was the presidents of like now you can't compare where we are now with like the Industrial Revolution. Because think about back then, you did not have all this machinery. Like, of course, the output compared to before is so much greater. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Like before the Industrial Revolution, you needed like let's say 50 people to do something, but now you could get a machine to do that like faster. So like automatically, like for the economy and for people, you're hiring more people back then.
Yes, but there's something called tariffs.
Yes.
And this customs, basically to get this wine to Nigeria now, probably you pay
That's
$2
government
per bottle.
business.
What is it? And then other countries are putting in tariffs on the products that they import.
No, that's why I say you should review that research, because if you even compare before when they start, now there's forex trading, there's binary trading, there's crypto trading, they are printing money left, right, and center. That's you really need to.
That's what's causing the inflation.
That's what's causing
because there's no hard material to back that money
up with.
Like you're not like producing as much as you would actually get.
No, we're producing. The issue that we're producing the way we're producing now is at such a fast rate compared to the kind of to even the amount of people now the fast fashion thing, the clothing thing.
I think we're consuming so much faster.
We're consuming faster and things are being produced faster. Do you know the amount of clothes, the amount of clothes that are being produced now is not the same as back then, because back then you needed let me say 10, you need 10 shirts because those 10 shirts would last you. But now you probably need about 40.
With poorer quality.
That's the whole point of fast fashion. Is poorer quality in terms of polyester, cheaper, and even the people who are being the labor. Because back then it was more people creating those clothes by themselves. So obviously the value of those clothes were higher. Yeah. But now Shein, you can literally produce how many amount of these clothes in how many seconds, as opposed to before, because those things had more value then.
You need a tailor to actually use that.
And exactly, but
no
now
industrial sewing.
You can't even wear clothes more than twice because the material is poor.
Is it because of that or because you don't want people to say, hey, this guy is repeating clothes?
That's
because the material is poor. You wash the clothes 2 times, the whole material looks, you can't even wear it again.
Personally, I never wash my jeans.
Not even only that. Before, the amount of places you are going to, the amount of places you need clothes for, is not that much. You go to this place, go to this, that's thing. But now,
you go to work
after school, you go to church, work, you go to church, you go to
for
family events, you go for this one event,
you go for burial,
and then
you go for
the way
wedding.
It is that there is now a whole social etiquette on how you're supposed to dress differently for different occasions. So you can even say let you have 10 shirts, because 10 shirts is now looked as socially unacceptable. Because if you wear that,
for us who can access more than 10 shirts.
But look at it, in school basically, I have lots of shirts, but then if I wear my shirts, I'll be to waste it. So most of the days I wear white shirts. You wouldn't know I'm wearing the same white shirt because, I have different sets of white shirts.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody was wearing white shirts.
No. This university.
Okay.
So people I'm always looking at me, are you a law student? Why do you dress this way? I'm wearing that to conserve my clothes. So that I'll not waste all my clothes in school.
That's because you have sense now. It's not everybody that is
I'll not waste all my clothes in school.
And it's not everybody that's like that. And there are people that they are very, I don't want to use the word petty. Is that the word?
Petty, Maizine or what?
No,
I don't think it's petty. I think in reality, people could hardly give a fuck if you wear clothes 3 times, except if you're a celebrity.
Okay, true. Or you're
it's more our perception that this person has seen me here, because in reality, truly, if you're not a celebrity,
why can't you repeat and repeat?
You can't repeat clothes. It's just a perception of what we've also seen celebrities do. You're supposed to repeat clothes, or obviously, if you post one clothes on social media now or Instagram or somewhere,
you can't post five pictures, 5 different days.
Yes, no, good. Let's talk about anxiety and loneliness. This is a topic I really want to talk about for a long time. People are more lonely now than then.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
And why is that?
Social media.
Don't we have sisters, we have brothers, we have...
Look at how ironic it is. Social media, but it's making us unsocial.
Yeah, because people are so much closer, and it's much more virtual closeness and
physical closeness.
Because look at COVID and everything that happened with the whole lockdown and everything. So the rise of Zoom parties, all those different things. People are... even society is demanding more of you, that you even have less time for all those
things,
actual human
interactions and
connection.
In the Zoom party, what they do? They cheer, they are
and now you cheer, you
to your camera.
Yes, shots.
How else?
Oh my lord.
There'll be a Zoom DJ,
No
play
hugging.
music.
But why do people get depressed? I mean, basically, well, okay. I don't think I've been depressed per se, though. Good. Rejection. You know, like when you toast a babe and this chick tells you that she has a boyfriend, and then you don't like this particular chick, and you don't want to do kind of that way, and you want to like keep trying, and it's not coming forth, or what if it's coming forth? You're like a second option. How do you handle rejection, basically?
I don't know about other people, but I'm okay with rejection. Earlier on, I didn't used to be like, I used to really be bothered by it. But right now, like, there's so many women in the world.
wait, we don't say, okay, let's say you like a guy, and this guy tells you, initially tells you, how do you take it?
I think as a human, I don't think humans are built for like rejection. Because nobody likes to be rejected. I like you, you don't like me. Initially, I think nobody likes to be rejected. However, how you now take that thing differs.
After
exactly. Somebody, if I like a guy personally and the guy doesn't like me, I'll be like, I feel like a big part of it is also like your sense of self. Because if you have a good sense of self, if somebody rejects you, as for me, first thing for me is not to take it personally. I just know I'm not this person's cup of tea. Not everybody is going to have, and it's true.
But it's true.
Not everybody likes tea with 2 sugars. Some people like tea with no sugar, or some people like tea with 1 sugar, or some people like tea without milk. You understand? And so it's very actually egotistical and
for you to expect people to just.
For you to think that
I don't feel
like,
we should say egotistical because
it is though.
It is. It is egotistical.
You just saw somebody.
You saw somebody that you like. You don't. It's different. Okay, if you get to know that person, okay, that's different. You're asking 2 different things now. If you see somebody that you like and now come on to that person, it's different. Okay, you and somebody started being in a relationship and then all of a sudden they said they lose interest. Those are 2 different things. But you approaching somebody and then somebody that you know you like them or you like to know them more and they say no, like they're not interested.
Like,
it is egotistical for you to take it personally. And we are we're a people with ego. I'm not saying like or everybody else is egotistical. I'm saying like personally, because once you take it personally, it means that like you're saying that person cannot have.
He doesn't have the right to
another option or not to want you.
But then there's some girls that like they'll tell you that they're taking. I just think showing green lights. Like you want to eat your cake and have it. Like what
you're talking about like that's just now dynamics
totally
and everything.
different. Yeah.
That's completely different. Like if a girl is in a relationship and she's not in a relationship, or what I find most times that if a girl doesn't want to say that she's in a relationship, not the other way around.
Secondly, another thing is like, do you girls basically guys prefer the like direct approach? Like I meet you today, next 2 days I'm telling you I like you, or you want me to keep toasting you for 1 month?
I think that you should let things progress naturally.
Huh? What do you think?
I think that
do you go straight or
and tell them that they like me and they love me. I'm like,
what do you like?
No, not love, but like I know your person. Like I like you, so like I'm just pushing anything that.
That's the thing, guys. Some guys make mistake with. There's no approach that works for everybody. That's why you have to keep on trying. When you get to somebody, you like. Another thing is that's why I said like a lot of fathers are slacking in their role that they are meant to play as a father, because it is him that is supposed to be like, oh, do you understand? I've tried this one, no, I've tried this one.
Yeah, at what age do you think you start teaching your children how to approach women?
At me.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, you have to have built a relationship good enough for your child to be able to express such emotions to you. Then based off of that, do you understand? You can now, maybe when they're still in high school, you tell them like, oh, like, it is not the time for sex, like just say kissing is okay, maybe.
Well, when you say sex, you mean intercourse?
Yes.
Oh, personal.
But like like
personal. Tell me, children their contraceptives, like have fun but be disciplined and
contraceptives in high school.
You
You can't tell them you contracept in high school. If not, I feel like if you
high school is what age? 16, 17.
Contraceptive.
Oh, that's puberty, like you.
I don't know about contraceptives.
Oh, well, contraceptive. So, do you like the approach where a guy meets you and tells you directly, "I like you," and we know what we're doing like less than 2 days? Because we're like, see, there's some guys,
Why
some
is it
guys,
2 days. What's that so special?
3 days,
Like again,
1 week. Because some guys will wait for like 1 month, Monday. People like say, let's go with the flow, let's go with what's flow, and then in 3-4 months, we don't really know what
No,
we're
when I
doing.
say go with the flow, I don't mean that like you shouldn't state what you mean, but let things flow naturally. Because 2 days into like you just talking to somebody and telling like
What do you like?
you can say exactly what you like. You say, okay, I want to take your like I want to know you better.
Better.
Like you
It's-
can't.
No, like you're spending,
I
no,
like
you're spending
that.
time with this person. Like, let's say you
That's
guys have
2 days
2
now.
days.
2 days. You mean something? You're so specific on 2 days. I'm
Two,
thinking
three
that's
days.
what I mean
When
by
I say 2-3 days, okay, let's say day 2. When I say 2-3 days, I mean like after meeting up.
No.
After
okay,
meeting.
maybe say on the second date, on the third date, the guy lets you know what his intentions are. But you know, you're saying day 2 of knowing somebody, you want to let them know, let them you be so clear. What are you so clear about? Do you even know me as a person and you're so clear about?
First of all, let's say we talk for like an hour a day before, and I really enjoyed this her vibe and her interests and things that like she's attracted to, and like we share similar.
Because one time I told a girl that I liked her, say, what do you like?
Talk to me more.
Wait,
like-
what do I like? Okay, simple. I like the topics you're interested in.
So
You're
let's
pretty.
talk out more.
Yeah,
Let's have a let's hash it, but let's talk more. Second date is different from day 2.
True.
And so some people that is a natural progression. There's some people that you connect with and like you guys are talking for 2 hours and it seems like you guys have been talking for like 2 minutes. That's what I mean, like let things flow like naturally. Some guys too, and also not just guys, also girls too. Like, and we're not. You can read people's body language. You can also read people's like emotions. Like, you can tell when somebody's giving you the green light, and you can tell when somebody's not giving you the green light. I'm not that kind of girl where I don't know. I don't even subscribe to girls who will be like, "Oh, don't talk to me," and yet secretly wanting you to talk to them. I just think like
Dates would be better. Like,
yeah, if you're in tune with yourself, I don't think like I said, it's better if you say by day 2 or day 3.
Date
Not
2.
not second day of meeting somebody that you want to be direct person. If you meet somebody first day, you guys barely spoke to me. Second day, I want you to be direct. My hate drama. Like, what are you directing? Like, but if it's like by the second or third date, you'd be like, okay, I want
like
to.
yeah, like this is my intention. I want to.
This is my intention. I like that. I like that. I don't like. Why are we talking 1 month without direction? Are we knocking? Are we full bodies? Are we trying to get me? Do you understand? I like.
Tell me what we want.
Yes, but you cannot meet me the first day and tell me that you just want to fuck like bye bye. You don't know me. I don't know you. Like that's very different. However, if we both meet on like a site like Tinder, I don't think you're going on Tinder to meet like
Why?
find wife. So don't come on. Don't let us meet on Tinder and that's trying to.
Do you are knowing the best?
Yeah, you're gonna be best
Some people meet on these dating sites.
Not in
and get
Nigeria,
married.
not Tinder,
not Tinder.
and not in Nigeria.
So where did
Yeah.
you meet? Facebook or
There are
Instagram?
other private
There's other like different
chats, chats, like social
media sites now.
that are for
That actually
dating.
like dating sites, not Tinder. Tinder is
Tinder is
a
hookup
hookup site.
for
So-
Nigeria, Sha.
And most places, trust me, let me say where I was before in Canada, it's a hookup site. The amount of people who got married from there, you can count them, probably like 10 people out of how many people
I
that
think that they
use
celebrate them in a big way.
the site. Because it's abnormal. It's very, very abnormal. If a guy, I mean the guy on Tinder, I'm there for a reason. However, I'm not saying a relationship cannot continue after.
I wouldn't want Tinder like this. In Nigeria, Tinder is for a shower.
I didn't meet a girl on Tinder told me. I saw the 100 miles away or so. This girl was in university and she was actually a very, very, very good chick. I don't know. I didn't get that hookup vibe, but she was very, very, very simple and she was a university student. Till now, we still talk once in a while on WhatsApp. We see each other start to say
So you
hi.
guys should invest as for university, so it cannot be a shower.
I don't know. I was waiting.
No,
for
but she didn't know. She didn't look at.
a shower. I did dirty or something.
No,
No,
she wasn't demanding at all. Anyway, she was just
A shower is transactional. It's when the sex is involved.
What's
that
she
the-
demanding?
she was a student and she was actually from a higher middle class family because she drives and she was just cool.
No,
Basically, it wasn't like-
there's nothing for her to demand. She had everything she wanted. What she wanted was knacks.
I like how completely just spelling it out like we don't know.
It's possible,
It's
man.
true, but as for me, Sha, like I like it. So if I meet a guy on Tinder, I'm there for a reason. Don't worry. Like, you can go back to your place or my place. Like, I feel like that is sensible.
Wait, so basically, most girls, when you go on Tinder, what they're looking for is max, basically.
For me and from my experience, yes.
Oh, so we guys.
If a girl is going on Tinder to look for a serious something, you're not serious yourself. Because you have to go through 100 people before you find one serious person. So if you want to go and meet somebody else, meet them maybe in a supermarket, somewhere else.
Wait,
Like,
you're not getting too far. You're getting too far.
Club,
no, I
club.
know a good place.
Where?
The Lord's house.
I don't know about that church one. That's why I didn't say church. Church was the first thing that came to my mind, but I didn't even say that.
Church is a very good place.
Full of hypocritical beings.
No, apart from the hypocrites, apart from church, church, bus stops, schools, if you go to university, office. School is one of the best places.
Yeah, now because
you're seeing the person on regular.
Living with, so you're going to class, you're seeing their bad behavior and stuff.
You know, if they
from school now, come and remove from school. School is people, they're not adults here. People, school, when you invest, you you're still in such a
you're still in pre-over.
When you come out of school, where is like now the best place? Out of school,
It's like maybe a lounge or something. It's not
supermarket, maybe church. Even though there's hypocrites there,
but there's still
I feel
some
like
reasonable
it's a
people.
more
Not
better
Tinder.
place, not Tinder, not club.
Tinder is fun.
The people try to be sparking conversation in the club. Like, are you okay? Like, what kind of question do you want in this
With the
loud?
speaker back
With
there.
this loud,
I don't know. Well, can I get your number? Now what do you do in the club, basically? What else do you do? If not to get numbers.
So people try to talk to you in the club.
Yeah. Really? Well,
And some people, if you call somebody's club number, why are you saying that they remember you the next day? And how you look like.
And now it's dark and all.
but another thing is this, like, these days, I don't know, relationships are so funny. Like, when I meet someone today, we talk for like the next 2 weeks, the intensity is still very high. Like 2-3 weeks. Just a steep and everything.
No, because you've not made the
That's if
intention.
there was not like follow up. If you guys, it will only steep down maybe if you guys went on a date and you guys didn't click. But if you guys went on a date, there was that connection. There's no stepping down in this. The guy will be looking for something next, and the lady will be looking for something next as well.
This song I heard once, it went like this. Isn't it strange how people can change from strangers to friends, from friends into lovers,
What song
and
is that?
strangers again. I care about the lady that sang it, but it just talk that line. How people can change from strangers to friends, from friends to lovers, and strangers again. It's just like a loop.
Yeah, I mean we're living in like my own conclusion. We're living in very, very strange times.
Very strange.
Things are happening in ways that hasn't happened before. This whole relationship thing. We are having more talks about relationship and man and woman role, feminism, misogyny. Like, we're living in very weird times where like different like concepts, different like issues that haven't like necessarily like existed in the same space is existing now. My own is that like proceed with caution, be a learner, as in be very open to unlearning. So we spoke about like relation, like how life is harsh for
People
like is life harsh for youth, like for young people growing up, especially in Nigeria.
Let's speak about social media and depression. Let's talk about loneliness a little bit.
So what do you think firstly? Let's ask your opinion. Do you think that like
I feel like the expectation is a lot.
The what?
The expectations are a lot, especially on young adults. Like, social media has played a very, very vital and destructive role in, like just projecting that false image, that false expectations, and then it's just a pressure on people, like looking at other lives, trying to measure up, trying to be like these people. I just feel like at the same time we're individuals, right? We know what we want at the end of the day. Peer pressure, social media pressure is not enough to like make you do what you wouldn't ordinarily do. However, let's be realistic. This pressure are real. Like this pressures, they're mounting on us.
Oh, wait, what kind of pressure? You say pressure. What kind of
I think
pressure?
it's like
Like expectations, like okay, let's go into like relationship expectations or relation. Right now, I haven't seen how the relationship goes. Everybody posting Bali or posting ocean.
This kind of proposal.
like proposal, big
You know,
proposals, like
weddings.
you get, and they will never ever tell you what they're actually going through behind the scenes, and they're just projecting the best life. And if you don't have those best life, anyways, I feel like it's for people that are not really exposed enough. But we should all be realistic and know that there is, like, nothing is perfect. But social media always projects this perfection of maybe relationship, perfection of body, like just everything going smoothly for someone. Take for instance Bobrisky. If you watch Bobrisky's snap, you just be confused because okay, is everything so perfect for you? Like why?
I don't watch that guy at all.
And
He's
it's
a
so
clown.
sad because he's like, he's making you believe in rubbish. Like it doesn't piss me off, but then I'm just imagining people watching his snap and trying to be like him. I'm like, yo.
Were you trying to be like him in what sense? Trying to be like a girl when you're a guy?
No, his lifestyle.
No, his lifestyle.
Come on,
We're
his
talking about
lifestyle,
gender. I mean,
I don't follow you.
like his lifestyle, like what he
has access
says.
to.
Exactly, trying to say that that no woman should ever pay for this. That man should always, if a man does not send him money the first time you speak to him, like just saying rubbish. And you see girls mounting, yes, because the pressures are also at the same time going to you men. Because you men, like, has it been easy for you guys? It's not been easy now.
It's not been easy
like
both ways.
Exactly both ways. So I just feel like that this our generation is just, I feel like it's so fake.
Yeah, well, that's the pressure
It's
from
so
guys now.
fake.
What are the pressure from ladies specifically?
Pressures from ladies, like I mentioned, for instance, relationship.
Perfect body?
Okay, exactly, perfect body, or trying to look a certain way, to maybe go out. You see your friends, buying this designer, doing this, doing that, and then you don't have your like.
Bone straight.
Jonas and bone straight. My mom was very frontal. I must wear lashes that is long like this. I must afford you get like, and at the same time, they know that I don't know. I read especially Lagos and Abuja. I don't know how these things add up because, like, I don't understand.
Honestly.
Every day you see some people going to restaurants every day. When I went to restaurant and saw the bills, I'm like,
No, this thing reminds me.
This was girls they pay every day.
Just realize me.
I took
What is going on?
my uncle and his wife and his children, they came to our house in Port Harcourt for a holiday for like a month. So I took him out to then he now saw the bills like the Nigerian soup was 7K, this one 7, there are about 10 people. How can you bring me this on the plate?
But really though, like it's very unrealistic.
Like it's so
and
unrealistic.
it's not sustainable at all.
Thank you.
That's the
I'm like-
essence pressure.
And the thing, when I now know how much regular Nigerian they get as salary, and then I'm just equating it to your life. I'm like,
But that's another
do you
issue with
understand?
social media
So
because
social media will just try and make things look like it's all glamorous, like it's all going very smoothly. But you don't know how many girls that what they do to get men to give this shit to them, or even don't get me wrong, some women have very
Businesses
decent
and-
jobs,
but
business.
there are not a lot like that.
I know.
How many
some.
jobs are there?
Exactly. Like in Nigeria. So I'm not going to, deny those women of their accolades and, of their hard work. They,
If you can pay for it,
if you can pay for it
legitimately.
legitimately, that's all good. But then those ones that we both know that
Yeah, something
it's
behind
not
the
that some
scenes.
things behind the scenes. And then it's even some of them say that will come and be projecting, be saying rubbish because they managed to find man that will pay. Do you understand?
And the
what I'm
worst part about it is that they will not be. The worst one about it is the ones that are claiming to have businesses, but they don't really have businesses.
And the pressure is not getting worse on people
That
on
actually
girls
have business,
that have businesses that they're like,
And the business is not,
it's
booming
not
like
booming
that.
like that.
Do you understand?
But more the popular business now is food delivery, and most of their customers are guys, and these guys patronize them the other way too.
What do you mean?
They
Deliver the food. Deliver their
So they deliver to the food and
the
That one is very,
the after food.
that one is normal now. Even the one that you buy gift for yourself, they post that my hope I be pay or like you, yes. I have a friend on her birthday. I'm not gonna mention it, but she bought, herself like a course bag and everything. And then she posted it as like gifts from Bay. I'm like,
What be?
it's supposed to be buy. She named my best friend. Then she was like, no, that she bought it for herself for her birthday. I'm like,
I guess she's her babe.
and this is like my very good friend. Like, I'm not sure about her, but like, I mean, she's not depressed, so don't get me wrong. But like, just this is
Keep up with the pressure.
unnecessary pressure that social media mounts on people, and you're like, I mustn't. And if you don't succumb to that pressure, it feels like, oh, maybe you're too laid back, or you don't
You're
want to
losing
spend,
out
or
on
you're losing
something.
out on something. It's like on social media, because people in the village, they think this thing way they think. Oh,
Actually,
That's what we were just
yes.
saying.
Like, expectations are very, very limited because they don't have the internet to see what somebody's doing in Lagos. Or
They'll just have, like now, with
if
marriage.
Las Vegas.
exactly. If their boyfriend buy them a plate of nkwobi and this one,
Be
they'll
very happy.
touching his head. But this one, they will be like, nah, hey, finger, nyeki putata, I can't do no. This
I
one,
like how this police Igbo.
if you now, if you're in Lagos and your man buys you, maybe a nice dress and something, you be like, baby, it's not me that used to buy it. Where do you used to see other men that used to buy? From social media. So
No,
social
that's a
media
good
is
point.
big.
You can even think about people in North Korea. You know, like they have limited access to internet.
North Korea. How you call North Korea?
Please, why are you bringing up Korea?
No. They have limited access.
North Korea. If you go to North Korea, like, they're starving people on the.
North Korea is
If
in a
you leave
different,
their
like-
capital, there is no building again.
North
It's-
Korea is
it's
literally on a different,
three.
like,
Don't
like,
do- no,
plan-
no,
And
no.
But
it's even very hard to get into North Korea. I don't think
Hard. It's almost impossible.
It's almost
No,
impossible.
this
That's
guy,
true.
I feel this guy, Drew Brinsky, that guy that goes to different countries and.
Okay, but they limit you to only the capital.
you know the way
they
that
only limit you
if-
to the capital. If you go and see the other places, it's hot. And honestly,
But how do you think the relationship? Here how we get Michael Kors and all these.
They have everything now.
No, wait.
We don't can speak on much more.
North Korea.
North Korea.
Everybody has targets for the
government.
supreme leader.
To end this, I'll leave us with this quote by the Roman Stoic philosopher Lucius Seneca. Hang on to your youthful enthusiasms. You will be better off able to use them when you are old. Thank you for listening.